for NewBee, Troll, and Sand King. Interesting start from both teams to draft pretty much the same as Game 2, considering it didn't work out for NewBee, and thus far, Troll picked has been a Troll lost.
So, that is true. I still believe in the Troll Warlord hero, though. I don't doubt that that hero can win. I think it's more like the overall lineups for the teams didn't make it work.
Yeah, let's see if NewBee do switch it up and, 2 losses in a row. Troll needs a buff. Obviously the case.
LFY open up with the Warlock and Slaughter again. This time, NewBee ban out the Riki. I think the Riki was really the wrench in NewBee's plans last game. I think they expected the Slaughter to be a support, but the Riki really opened up the map for LFY. And I think Riki and Lina were like the big reason why they won that game.
10 seconds remaining.
And they ban out the Magnus this time around, so it will be a little bit of a different draft from NewBee, but without the Riki, like you were saying, it really was the tipping point for LFY. Just the vision and the smoke screens were always pretty much perfect. And you got such a quick defusal blade too. So now Ursa picked up for LFY. A little bit of a different draft for them. No Lifestealer. Going to be the Ursa this go around for Monet. And what are NewBee? What's going to be different for NewBee here that can be different from last game in terms of their draft?
I'm sure they know that best with whatever they're comfortable with, but definitely they have to have a mid lane that does a little bit better than it did last game. I think the TA was totally zoned out of the lane at some point. She's still got experience, but the thing about TA is like she can always catch up if her team makes space for her to get that farm, because she farms incredibly quickly, right? But I think their team was already behind from 2 lanes. Both the Magnus and the TA kind of had subpar lanes, and so the TA never got a chance to catch up.
So this time it's Clockwork. Interesting. And do you think they go back to that TA if, let's say LFY don't pick the Lina here, if they are going to go for that? Do you think they ban the Lina, go for the TA, and try and go for it again?
They might. I think Lina's still a really strong hero in general, especially with Slaughter, and kind of balances out the Ursa, because you have like a really ranged core to work with the Ursa. So NewBee can definitely consider banning it, or they can consider picking up another hero. You'd think that TA is a good hero with Troll, because the Troll kind of buffs her attack speed, but they're both weak to the same things, which is like being kited and not being able to burst people down within the BKB.
Yeah, and this time around, they're going to go for the Bat Rider, and Swordar now pushed to that position for Swordar we had been talking about, and Bat Rider going to be in the off lane.
10 seconds remaining.
Yep.
Ban out Medusa. Not too sure what that really, at least personally, not too sure what that really tells you about when NewBee wants mid. But both teams, they are looking for their mid hero still. I mean, I feel like NewBee, they do play that TA a lot. I could see it come out again. But then I feel like Lina might come out first from LFY.
Yeah, Medusa's a kind of a great ban against Troll Warlord, because that Stone Gaze kind of prevents Troll from killing people within the Troll's BKB, which is one of his objectives in team fights.
So LFY putting a lot of thought into this last ban, and they do have that pick as well, so they probably want to go straight for it. And they're going to ban out the Shadow Fiend, and let's see, there's a lot of mids still on the board. Lina, Invoker, OD, just to name a few. And there's
TA is still,
yeah, and TA for this time LFY. And you think they pick that so NewBee can't? Or does this fit their lineup just very well?
It also fits their lineup because TA can take advantage of the early game space that the Ursa will make, and is also a ranged core to kind of supplement the Ursa. But that Ember Spirit's not too hot in lane against the TA, but as soon as the Ember hits level 4 or 5, I think he has some pretty easy ganks on the TA.
So, yeah, I think for me, I'm going to pick LFY in this matchup. I do like the Templar Assassin. Ursa gets an early blink. You can combine that with the lasso. You know, you lasso Slither and Crush, and Ursa cleans up the rest. Meanwhile, Templar Assassin will just help you do that job. For me, I think LFY has the better draft. Any thoughts on who you think is going to win this game 3?
I think LFI have some huge burst potential on NewBee right now, but NewBee have that Dazzle for counter initiation, and they also have the Clockwork, who does surprisingly well against Ursa, not in the lane, but in fights, the Clockwork can just hookshot the Ursa and force staff himself out to kind of keep the Ursa from finishing anyone, and of course this works through BKB as well. So they have NewBee have some good kiting and counter initiation.
Yeah, I was just thinking about it. The last ban from LFY was Shadow Fiend, and for the right reasons where, you know, the Clockwork with the denying the cogs early in the game to get those early souls. That's what they didn't want to be up against, and I think that's really what NewBee was planning to do. You pick that Clockwork kind of close to last to maybe hide the fact that you're going to go for the Shadow Fiend mid.
Yeah, gotta stop the cheese.
So again, Protoss Tower's getting built up, which is
It
always nice.
disables the it doesn't show you what battle pass levels that they have, but it still kicks in. Like you can see their towers are decked out, man.
Yeah, and some of them have the Aegis next to their name. Monet has it, and the Bat Rider has it. Let's see, anybody else? Take a look around real quick before something happens and I miss it. Moogie has it, SCCC has it, and that's it.
And there's no breakdancing lifestealer this game.
Thank God. It's quite frustrating. But Monet, Alpine Ursa set. I'd like to have one of those. Never gonna happen, but I'd like it. They walk, they see each other, Monet and KP. KP kind of has had a pretty poor series overall, I feel like. This is
That's interesting.
effective, of course.
Seconds to battle.
What?
The cogs
He didn't
up
even
top.
break the cog, or
He just sat there and traded. Really do. I have like a love-hate with these towers. I love StarCraft and makes me kind of like the towers. I don't like that they kind of just don't seem to fit Dota for me. I don't know, they seem weird.
yeah, glance value.
No, not that. It just, they seem weirdly out of place.
They
you
do,
know?
they do. Their frame rate also looks a little low. I don't know if that's a technical issue.
Like, I feel like if they had these, you know, they're doing all these maps and everything. If they had these on like a space-esque kind of map, it would look a lot better. But
It's
that's
also
just
hard to tell what or it's not obvious what team they are. Just looking at them really quickly. They have the lava and the radiant effect, but
Yeah, that's about all the telling there is. So, you know, that's the tower story, and on to the game as we take a look. Super up against SCCC mid. That's TA versus Ember Spirit over towards bottom. It's going to be the Sand King Kaka with the Dazzle Faith as well as Moogie on the Troll, this time in the safe lane up against the off lane Bat Rider. Then we take a look over top as Monet is going to be on this Ursa up against KP with the Warlock. And then meanwhile, Fu is going to trade some blows with Kaka. So they're in
Slaughter's trying to pull this wave because one of Bat Rider's issues is he can't actually do much in the lane or in the jungle until he hits level 2. And so sometimes you'll see Bat Riders do this themselves. They'll pull the wave in between the tier 1 and tier 2 to secure themselves some farm. But since that's slightly predictable, I think the Slaughter did it for him, which is really cool.
The thing I notice about Bat Riders too is that some Bat Riders play just such a super aggressive game. Meanwhile, oh boy, over mid SCCC got very low, almost missed first blood again. Luckily I didn't, but as I was saying, Bat Riders sometimes play this ultra aggressive early game where they get those stacks of sticky napalm and just go all in for a Firefly hoping to get the first blood.
Yep. But Hero's early levels got nerfed quite hard, so you have to do your best to get early levels, or at least deter the enemy team from zoning you out too hard.
Ooh, a haste coming out for Afu. Let's see if they could do anything with this. Barrel Strike's going to come through on the sword. Our Faith, he has Poison Touch, but not going to elect to use it. No real reason to use it.
TA's going down.
And meanwhile, SCCC, Afu coming over still with that haste. Not going to have enough for another Slithering Crush, and SCCC will end up surviving and going over the shrine to heal up. So first blood, I didn't catch the end of that. Right as you said it, I kind of went over. I was looking over at this Bat Rider farming up, of course. Thought maybe they'd do something there. And again, I think wrong.
I think the TA thought she could trade hits with the Ember, but the Ember busted out that level 2 Flame Guard.
Yeah, that's real hard to eat into if you're this low-level Templar Assassin.
Yeah. It's actually a really big kill for Ember, because he's not normally supposed to do well on the early levels.
Now leads by about half a level. We take a look over bottom. Is Bat Rider getting very low? Kaka has Burrow Strike if he can find the range for it. With the Firefly of this Bat Rider, going to be able to get all the way back to Shrine, heal up. And really, they just push the Bat Rider out of this lane. And for once, it kind of seems where a Troll is having an easier time in his lane.
Yep. So KB's doing a really great job of securing himself experience. And I think part of that is because he successfully blocked that hard cap. NewBee kind of guessed incorrectly where the Sentry Ward would be, so... Actually, they used 2, never mind. He didn't block it at the end. But it was blocked at first.
So, Bat Rider going to move over to this jungle, just try and use that Firefly as well as the Sticky Napalm to find him as much farm as he could really get. He wants to get that early blink and really work with that level 6 with the rest of his team, so have to keep checking in on how quickly he does end up getting that blink.
We might have a Clockwork rotation on mid. They have the Sanking set up for this as well.
Yeah, so they're going to be looking for the Burrow Strike into what should be, Battery Assault and Cogs.
It looks like DDC drew out the path as well, so...
There it is, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. They're going to look on over, get the Battery Assault as well as the Burrow Strike. They'll get the kill, and now Bat Rider's over here, and the Cogs are going to push him away. KP getting very low as he is going to end up surviving, but trying to come over again with that Firefly is going to be the Bat Rider. Going to think the wiser of it, crossing that river, and with the rotation coming out from Bat Rider, it's not going to save the life of this TA, and it's another win overall for NewBee.
Yeah, it's a really good start for NewBee so far.
Over top, Afu getting chased on in between this first tier tower and the second tier tower. Mugi just really wants to control this lane and find himself that farm that maybe he didn't get in that previous Troll game.
Got a lot of damage going on this tower, bottom.
And just Afu to try and defend it.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They're going to take this tier 1. Nobody coming over bottom.
There's not really anyone they can send.
Yeah, but they
Got
do
the
get the deny.
though.
Wow. All right, Afu. So this sends Bat Rider over into the jungle. He loses his lane and just completely gets becomes homeless. Now
He's Rider is level 5 though, so you should be able to jungle pretty quickly.
and DDC.
Looks like there's some action top.
KP gonna get those cogs out on DDC. Does end up moving away from Monet, but here comes the Firefly as well as the Sticky Napalm. No Battery Assault, no cogs. They're gonna try and continue to chase him down. Meanwhile, they get another kill on TA, but Clockwork will fall, and DDC will get credit for the kill. So they chase down the Clockwork of KP. TA ends up falling over mid. More towards this bottom rune as SCCC gets another kill. He's 3-0. He's got all 3 kills for NewBee thus far. And Ember, one of those heroes who kind of takes a little bit of time to come online with a great start like this. This could definitely spell out trouble for LFY.
Yeah, he's relatively close to his Veil too, so I think as soon as he gets that, wait, they'll probably fight into LFY really well. And they have the Troll Warlord to do a lot of building damage.
Seems like it could be another game where a Templar Assassin kind of just struggles. Just a bit.
Especially early on with Clockwork to stop both her and the Ursa from killing people.
To me, the lineup of LFY seems to heavily rely on blinks. Batrider, Slardar, Ursa, even Templar Assassin can get one. But before that, they seem very vulnerable before these heroes have that mobility.
Yep. The cool thing about Clockwork is he's one of the initiators that doesn't require any items, just levels.
Mm-hmm. Look over bottom. Faith just trying to get his levels up, and meanwhile, GDC pushed back by Kaka. He grabs the bounty rune. 3 go their way. And NewBee, they're happy to just sit back, keep this lead, look for levels, and maybe wait for KP to get that level 6 as well as the Veil on SCCC. So already a pretty hefty lead for NewBee. Does Super just kind of sit a little bit further back like he's doing right now, sitting in these jungle camps trying to find any farm he can get, eventually go for this stack of ancient creeps, or, you know, do they have to be aggressive? Are they forced into a spot maybe they don't want to be in?
For which team?
For LFY. As they look to go in on Faith. Faith, not enough mana for the Shallow Grave. He's going to end up falling. Throws that Poison Touch out. Let's see if KP can find anything. Coming on over is going to be SCCC. They get the Sleight of Fist as well as the Searing Chain, so it will be a 1-for-1 trade. And actually, Faith got out. It's going to be a 1-for-0 trade. I didn't think Faith was going to get out of that.
And that Firefly wasn't, or I guess the Dazzle kind of got out of the Firefly quickly enough. And regarding the game, I think LFY want to make pickoffs happen when they can, but they probably recognize that it's quite difficult for them to fight directly into NewBee until they have a couple of blinks. Same as last game, LA is kind of, or TA is kind of stuck doing the farming game.
Yeah, and they're going to try again. Gets the sticky napalm as well as the lasso. Hookshot's going to come out on the bat. I'm not too sure it's going to save KP. He will end up falling and uses the hookshot. So now without that hookshot for about a minute. And Batrider didn't even have lasso for that. He just got the kill off a pretty solid flame break.
Troll is closing in on his Vlads. And Batrider got a blink first, which indicates that he might wanna like start doing some fighting pretty early. Ember completes his Veil, which I think pretty much makes it impossible for LFY to fight into him. They don't have any spells that, or any heroes in general, that can break the Flame Guards, so Ember's pretty much always going to be dealing damage throughout the fight.
And NewBee kind of have this uncontested farm and this uncontested push going on, and they were up 2,000 net worth just a moment ago. It's actually dropped all the way back to about even.
Yeah. I think part of that was the Clockwork kill, but also TA got a huge stack, or an ancient stack.
Yeah, it was a triple stack, wasn't it?
Yep.
That's a lot of gold going the way of Super, who looks to possibly be finishing off a Desolator first. So meanwhile, over bottom, Monet and Afu continue to push this creep wave, but it doesn't look as though they're going to stick nearby tower for all too long. They've lost their top tier 1, and continuing to push is going to be SCCC. Making the TP over is going to be Monet. Maybe not the spot he wants to be in, and he's all by himself. Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. But coming up through the jungle is going to be the rest of LFY, and disconnecting is the entire team of LFY, while Kaka does spot DDC.
Well, looks like they're starting to reconnect. Thank goodness the game auto pauses when someone disconnects like that for these matches.
Yeah, it would ultimately. I still think that DDC is gonna fall. Turn around, burrow strike immediately, and you've got S-Triple-C making his way over.
Yeah, it'll be a really good kill too because this Warlock's 6 and Warlock's pretty much the only way that LFY can team fight at the moment.
And maybe even Monet doesn't recognize this. Obviously, they do see the Sand King, but if the rotation maybe comes through, they get the kill, and then come all the way the wide way around, they could possibly find Monet. But he's got phase
That's a
boots.
possibility. So, I guess NewBee have more time to think about this, but they have a ward next to the Dire Shrine, so
Okay.
they know that absolutely no one's down there. But I think they're still nervous about initiating on the Warlock in case someone was smoked on LFY.
And they are going to continue to sit
Down in bottom.
close by. Ooh, over bottom. We take a look over as the last is going to be used on Clockwork. Afu continues to get that corrosive haze popped out of the cogs, and KP will fall to the Bat Rider. They combine the forces of Slardar and Bat Rider to find themselves yet another kill.
It's a failed gank attempt on Ursa up top, and looks like Slaughter is actually quite close to his blink.
Slardar actually going to get a nice Slithering Crush, possibly going to get out, but the Burrow Strike comes in from Kaka as Triple-C will get credit for the kill.
And now he's less close to his blink.
Yeah, was pretty close on that. Had it, what, about 2,000 gold now, all the way back down to 1,650.
Yeah.
Hook shot comes in on DDC. And KP with the battery assault should find himself a kill. The rocket flare to follow it up. KP, but despite having 3 deaths, finds himself a nice solo kill.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So the weave is used by NewBee, but hinting at going in is going to be this Bat Rider. They're going to get this speed for just a moment. Doesn't end up closing the distance with those drums, and backing off is going to be NewBee, and they continue to have this Ember at top of the net worth already with that Veil, and coming in is going to be that recipe for Boots of Travel. So NewBee, something that they really like doing is definitely split pushing. We've seen this in all 3 games against LFY, and with S-Triple-C getting those Boots of Travel, which is pretty standard, it's going to be happening again here in Game 3.
Yep. Troll Warlord is one of those heroes that especially likes split pushing because he doesn't push particularly quickly. So Troll Warlords like to take as much map control away and
Meanwhile,
then farm.
Hookshot KP gets Afu. Battery Assault again. The cogs push him a little bit further under Tier 2 tower. They're not going to be able to find that kill. But meanwhile, all these heroes are over bottom. I don't know why they hint at going for Roche, but the Rocket Flare comes in and they've been spotted out. So LFY know they need to make something happen, and Roche is definitely one of those things that would help them out in terms of just making up the gold differential and possibly finding themselves a team fight or two. And meanwhile, we take a look over at Kaka. Might be in a little bit of trouble. There's the Sentry Ward, there's the kill, and Super gonna get credit for that one. Meanwhile, Monet gonna be hit by that Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains. Veil comes out, but just retreating is gonna be NewBee for now.
Radiant's bottom tower is
So Ursa went for this Vlad's first, which sort of favors a more Roche-oriented game for Ursa, since the blink really makes the game a lot more faster paced for him.
under attack.
But he hasn't been able to secure Roshan yet.
Yeah, they might need a pick off before they can even really think about going in.
Yeah,
Can't just-
especially since KP's been doing a good job of scouting it out.
Yeah. Those constant rocket flares over or into Roche has really been the vision that they need over by the Roche pin. They're going to smoke up and let's see, are they going to go in or go for the fight?
They have a blink completed on Slardar.
So they look over towards mid. They set up. Here's a deep ward placed by Afu. The smoke's going to be broken. They turn it around and think about it. Here comes the weave. And let's see if now NewBee are the ones trying to be the aggressors. Meanwhile, in the Roche pit is going to be Monet. Still no NewBee sitting pretty close by. Vale's going to come out. There's the hook shot that's going to hit on the Sardar. He's going to use the triple remnant to go in on Afu. They're going to get themselves the first kill. The Chaotic Offering is taunted once, and now it's going to go in on both Mugi and Faith. They're going to end up getting the Shallow Grave. Faith is going to get very low. He's going to die to that golem, but now the Shallow Grave is not going to be enough to keep Mugi alive. He's going to be the second one to fall on NewBee. They're going to continue to go in as SCCC is going to try and find himself a kill on DDC. Meanwhile, on the back end, they're going to find themselves yet another kill on Kaka. And now it looks as though they might be in a little bit of trouble with KP and SCCC. The rest of LFY are here. They take a look over at KP. The Meld Strike does land on him. Battery Salt's not going to keep himself alive. And 4 fall on NewBee. And that will also be Roche for LFY. So they take a really good fight there.
SCC, though, I think he can triple kill these guys.
Oh, man, he's really looking for it. Let's see what he can find as Roche is about to fall. He's weaved up. SCCC taking a lot of damage. He's going to be hit by the Flame Break. That stops him from getting the Aegis. And they end up getting it on Monet. Not only that, but Monet gets the kill on SCCC. There's the Blink, Slithering Crush, and another kill goes their way. Faith, the next one to hit the deck. Kaka, he looks to be in trouble. But Mugi is here to slow them down and stop them off there.
Oof.
Hookshot comes out on Super. Battery Assault will follow it up. And KP gets himself yet another kill, this time on the Templar Assassin.
That was a nice try from SCCC there, but that Flame Break really ruined his day. I think he was in the middle of picking up that Aegis too, or casting something.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I don't think he got a chance to use the Searing Chains right before that Roche fell.
I feel like if he blew all of his spells, including Veil, when the TA's Refraction was down, he might have been able to kill all of them. Especially since the Ursa didn't have his ulti anymore. But it's hard to say. Especially if you're in that situation, you aren't expecting
Flame Break
to be able to do something like that. Or for the Flame Break to cancel your...
And you said it. You said that the triple kill might come out from this Ember SCCC. I thought they were low enough for him to make that move, and that's what I was expecting, at least in that exchange.
Surprised too, because there was a Dazzle to save him in the situation where he gets close to dying.
So there's the weave coming out onto this Bat Rider. There's the blink from Kaka with the Burrow Strike. They're going to go in with the Remnant, get the Searing Chains out, but Monet's going to use that ulti. Here comes the hook shot that's going to be hit on DDC. So KP with the Battery Assault, and in comes Super. They're not going to be able to save the life of DDC yet, but he will end up walking away, and KP will get the kill. That's a double Slithering Crush coming out, as well as a Chaotic Offering on two. They're going to get themselves another in Kaka, as well as Mugi. They're going to continue to move forward. Bat Rider's going to look at SCCC, and he's going to be able to Remnant away, and another 3 kills for LFY. They've been countering these plays from NewBee time and time again very well.
Yep, that Warlock, Brock is doing so much in these fights. Now, last fight it picked up both the Troll and the Dazzle. In this fight, I think it really allowed them to catch the Troll again.
And this really seems to be LFY in the driver's seat, and now they're going to try and go in again. Meanwhile, KB's going to get the Cogs out on 2. Here's going to be the Bat Rider dropping, or actually it was just the Cogs out on 1. Technically 2 if you count the clockwork, so I wasn't entirely wrong, and they do get the deny on that tier 2 tower mid.
It's a bit of an ambitious lasso attempt from the Bat Rider there, but KP was too fast with Cogs.
As well as that Battery Assault kept him mighty close.
I think NewBee are still okay. It looks bad for them, and they are behind now, but... Or maybe Troll Warlord is just a cursed hero.
It seems to be. Falling out of the meta in front of our eyes. Take a look up top. There's the hook shot, and here comes the Epicenter from Kaka. Going to be enough to take out Super. Some remnants do hit from SCCC as well. Kaka gets the kill first on Super. And now 13-10. That's the kind of pickoffs that NewBee need to keep themselves close. So So Kaka still with that Blink Dagger, looking for the Force Staff, SCCC, Veil Boots of Travel, and he's going to be looking for the Shiva's Guard next. Take a look over at this Troll, Mugi, who is 0-2, kind of struggling this game, and he's looking for what seems to be an SNY.
Yep.
And then as for the other side, Ursa's got Vlad's Blink, and just about to finish Diffusal Blade.
Is under attack.
Both of Mugi's stats have sort of been not getting caught out, but just like running forward and then getting counter initiated on from Slardar Stuns and Warlock. Again, Troll Warlock can't really fight into teams that well until he has a BKB. Like, Troll's good at like small engagements, but for 5-on-5 engagements, there's so many things that Troll can get hit or kind of countered by.
So, what's NewBee's plan of action? Where's the blueprint for them to kind of come back in this game?
I think they have to secure their Trollsome farm and continue doing what they did in game 1, which is have the Sand King kind of shove out lanes. And they also have the Ember to shove out lanes as well. He's getting his Shivas first.
And Kaka trying to TP out. He's going to be hit by that lasso. Here comes the Meld Strike of Super one more time as Sand King falls again.
Yeah, I mean, that's like that aren't really that bad for NewBee. NewBee's more worried about losing one of their cores next to a big objective. I think if you're NewBee, you might consider just forfeiting all your tier 1s and tier 2s and try to just amass as much farm as possible.
Yeah, NewBee, especially the Troll, he sits behind the TA as well as the Ursa, and you kind of want to see if you were at least a side of NewBee, a Troll at top of the net worth at this point.
Yep. Byrider has a hood and he might work on a pipe, which should nullify a lot of Ember Spirit's damage. Especially since NewBee don't have a lot of magic damage to begin with.
So here comes, here comes a 4-man smoke coming in from LFY. And they're going to cross over mid. There's the Rocket Flare coming over top. Not going to spot anything, of course. And the Blink Dagger is there for Slardar, there for Super, and there for Batrider. That's kind of what they needed, was the Blink Daggers. It's heavy initiation for them, and you could see it working in these fights.
Ursa has a Diffusal, which should be really handy for diffusing the Flame Guard off of the Ember Spirit, since they didn't have a way of doing that before.
Tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
So up top, NewBee gonna do what they do best and try to push on the opposite side of LFY, and they've done this every game where they try to keep themselves close in farm by just taking the opposite tower of LFY, and then maybe off that rotating and looking for an aggressive fight that LFY might not be expecting.
Yeah, it's something you do with Troll. You just like try to keep the lanes up, because you don't want to fight until you have a certain amount of items, and that hero trades surprisingly well, because you hit buildings so quickly, and he also doesn't farm neutral creeps as quickly as some other heroes, so he relies on lane creeps. He kind of wants to be he always wants to be on the other side of the map from the enemy.
Let's see if this Roche is up. Nope. Gonna be another 30 seconds, so definitely bound to see another Roche fight coming up soon. But a NewBee towards the bottom of the map. If LFY stick near Roche a little bit longer, they might be able to just pull it out from under NewBee altogether.
Yeah, they definitely have the tools to do it too.
Because they don't even have to get that close. They just blink in, and or even just smoke in. Would really be the case.
KP is surprisingly farmed, I think, for Clockwork.
He's had a couple of big kills. I think a couple of them have been on Super, which are pretty high priority. for him.
Yep.
Dire's bottom tower.
So Monet trying to finish up that BKB. Templar Assassin going for the Hurricane Pike in full. That's the Dragonlance right now, and the Force Staff finished in stash. And now the whole Hurricane Pike.
That pike's really important for playing against Troll Warlord. You never want the troll to be like melee hitting you for the whole fight.
So, you know, LFY, they're waiting for their item timings, trying to sit near Roche to try and grab it. They do have the trap there, and the hook is going to hit. They're going to try and get themselves the Bat Rider. Actually, I don't think that hook hit. They might have just gotten the Burrow Strike. The side effects of the Searing Chains come out, but nothing coming of it as NewBee, they kind of use quite a bit of what they've got. Now head over towards Roche. The trap is there. Not too sure that NewBee can take this without trying to fight LFY first.
Yeah, as soon as that initiation missed, I think NewBee were scared because you don't want to fight into the Warlock Slaughter counter initiation, especially without any magic immunity.
Now it looks as though LFY, they're going to be the aggressors as they've smoked up. They got to think that at least NewBee's going to be nearby the Roche pit, and they find themselves a nice Boink Lasso onto this Sand King Kaka, who again is going to fall. They'll get another kill for Super, and with a kill like that, they'll move on over into the Roche pit. They end up finding themselves the Bat Rider Mugi, and as well as Faith, they're going to try and strike down this Bat Rider. Flame Break going to open up some space. You look over towards the Roche pit, nothing happening just yet, as Bat Rider's really trying to make himself some space. So you make enough space. Here comes Ursa getting, or Roche getting very low. They get themselves the kill. They blink out. Monet immediately gets a kill on KP. The side effects as well as the Searing Chains going to come out on both Monet as well as Fu. Now they're trying to chase the rest of this team. Blink Southern Crush comes out onto Faith. Faith's going to use that nice Shallow Grave. Is it going to be enough?
No bash. There's no bash. The Dazzle lived. I think NewBee felt like they were forced to do something there because if LFY got Roshan, they'd be in a lot of trouble, which they already did. So
yeah, so now they lose the fight and they lose Roche, and it looks really good for LFY. They're up 5,000 net worth. They have the ability to be aggressive and push, and unlucky for NewBee, a double damage comes out for Super. But again, you see NewBee trying to counter this by pushing out these creep waves.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So 16-11 in favor of LFY. They have a 5,500 net worth lead. Ursa's got himself that finished BKB, did not have it, or did not use it in that last fight. And now Templar Assassin looks as though that the TA is going to be going for that Bloodthorn.
Blessings.
Take a
I think
look.
Mugi's thinking about buying a Diffusal. Should help him kite the Ursa and the TA, but also breaks the refraction charges, I think.
Oh boy, Kakai in a lot of trouble again. Here comes DDC and Fu. They place the sentry. He does blink out. Let's see if he's going to get all the way out. There's the Force Staff with the Slithering Crush. Corrosive Haze is there. Kakai is going to Burrow Strike just to extend the inevitable. But with that Corrosive Haze and the blink in from Monet, here comes Super. They'll clean him up once more. And LFY, they find yet another kill. Meanwhile, over towards the ancient camp of the Radiant side, they're going to find themselves yet another with Bat Rider getting the kill on Faith.
Yeah, this game's looking real good for LFY.
Yeah, not in the most exciting of fashions, but LFY definitely securing themselves quite a bit of an advantage and possibly this Game 3 win and eliminating NewBee altogether. So Sight of Fist is actually going to avoid that Slithering Crush coming out from Fu. But again, LFY, they really don't care. They're going to continue to push. There's the Searing Chains out on to Super.
There's the BKB out on the troll, but looks like he might not have enough damage to actually kill any of LFY's cores.
They look again, Sight of Fist, Searing Chain, Super still with the Aegis. You can't really chase to the high ground if you're NewBee. And LFY, they know this. They're going to move over. take this Ancient stack, farm some more, and TP back to push out this bottom lane. So, LFY, they're definitely in the driver's seat in this game. NewBee seem to be very far behind in pretty much all aspects of the game. There really doesn't seem to be much they can do, if anything. And is there anything they can do just to bring this game back? Is it all about just extending the game, or are they finding themselves kind of just hoping to defend the high ground as many times as they can?
You know, if they can find a pickoff, that'd be really good for them. But LFY is doing a really good job of grouping up and preventing that from happening. Troll does have his BKB now. He can start fighting, but I don't think he has quite enough damage to have a big impact, especially when he has to fight through a Warlock Rock and through multiple Force Staffs from LFY.
And LFY smoke up as a team. They're looking over towards mid. Gonna Firefly and see if they can get close enough to pull someone out. And there's the smoke broken. There's the blink with the Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, trying to get themselves a kill, but rooted up is gonna be this Bat Rider for now. LFY, they look to be in the driver's seat of the initiation there over mid, but with that smoke not working out, not pulling out either of these cores, LFY, they'll retreat once more and back to farming we go.
Back to farming we go.
And you were right. NewBee gonna go for the Diffusal Blade.
It's like, feels like Troll's playing Void right now. Got the Vlad's Manta Diffusal.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And we took a look over at the TA. Did get the Orchid, not gonna get the full Bloodthorn. Switching over to a BKB, maybe a little bit of a confidence thing for LFY before trying to siege that high ground, in the Basher now out for Monet on this Ursa.
Yeah. The BKB is really important to deal with the Ember and to deal with Sun King as well. LFY might be looking to smoke here. Looks like they're starting to group up.
Yeah, they do have a smoke ready on Fu. It's in his backpack.
They're gonna want to get mid and bot lane a little bit further.
And NewBee, they're gonna smoke up as well. So the smoke comes first from NewBee. Let's see if LFY continue to push out, and then they set up for a smoke. It looks as though that's what they want to do. Still not out of the backpack of Slardar just yet, so they haven't done it yet and have not yet looked for it. They're going to wait just a little bit longer, as I think they can sense that NewBee have smoked up, and now breaking that smoke is going to be SCCC, and they're going to clean up this creep wave, and they knew well enough to not really move from the spot they were in. So let's see if NewBee can find anything on Monet. It was over mid, Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains came out from SCCC, but nothing to follow it up. And he's going to be going for that Linken's. He does have the Shiva's Guard as well as the Veil ready to go. Smoked up is LFY. They're going to try and make a move. There's the blink forward with the Orchid coming out. He's going to be able to blink away. Here comes the Burrow Strike coming in from Kaka. Now trying to retreat is going to be NewBee as they do use that hook shot to come in. KP might be in a little bit of trouble. SCCC is going to be on the high ground. They're faking the Chaotic Offering. Now it's going to come in on Mugi. Mugi's going to have that BKB, but I'm not too sure that's going to be enough. His lassoed up is going to be this Dazzle. Mugi's still trying to run away. One or two more shots might be able to do it, but Mugi finds himself all the way to base, but not enough, as blinking forward is going to be Monet, and they do take out Faith and they take out Mugi. And now LFY, they're here for the siege. They're here for your base, NewBee.
Yeah, the pickoff potential from LFY is just so much higher than NewBee's.
So they do force out the buyback of this Troll, and missing that Burrow Strike is going to be the Sand King. Puts himself in between a rock and a hard place. He's going to be able to get forced after the high ground. Now SCCC, he looks to turn it around, and LFY, but the Hurricane Pike is going to push him back as well, as he's going to be diffuseled up. Now the trap's going to slow him down even more. LFY, they still think about going in. They're going to get the lasso out on this Sand King. They're going to find themselves yet another kill. The Slytherin Punch comes out on KP. Let's see if they can find themselves one more as he's got himself the Cogs. They're going to bring down Mugi one more time. 3 dead on NewBee. So LFY, they're going to continue to push as it's just Ember Spirit and Dazzle as all 5 of LFY stand. That might just all well be it. So the Sleight of Fist Searing Chains is going to stop SCCC from getting hit with the Slytherin Crush. He does end up escaping, but they're losing their racks. They're losing their base. So can they hold is the question for NewBee as they lose 2 sets of racks.
Radiant's top barracks are under Radiant's top barracks.
And that's it.
GG is called.
They just GG out. They know they don't have enough time for Troll to come back before this base is taken. They come on forward with Monet as CCC survives, and LFY. They lose game 1, win 2 and 3, come back eliminating NewBee from this qualifier, and they're going to move forward.
You know, NewBee looked really good in the early game there, but I think LFY really pulled through with those Roshan takes and the fights in general. And it seems like Troll and Ember really don't play well from behind, especially when there's so much pick-off on the enemy team.
Yeah, and LFY, they seemingly just played that perfectly. They continued to get their pickoffs, found their advantage, continued to move forward. I mean, Monet 6-0, 7-3 for the Bat Rider. The net worth of these heroes of TA and Ursa, and even the Bat Rider equivalent with Troll. It was just a lot for NewBee to handle, and you know, eventually they do crumble, and they couldn't handle it. And LFY, they end up taking the series 2-1. So that's it for this series. We have another one coming up. I'm your caster, BCop, joined here by Franz. I'm at BCop92 on Twitter. He's at Hello Franz. That's Hello FRONZ. And we'll be back hopefully soon with the next series. Thank you guys for watching Epicenter with us.